All right, so for this game, we have essentially 5 people that we need to assign to these 3 territories. It's worth noting we don't really care about sequence, first, second, third, none of that really applies. This is just a straight grouping game. So we'll set it up accordingly. We have these 3 territories, F, G, and H, and we have these 5 people, L, M, N, O, P. And from there, I guess let's take a look at the rules. So the first rule says that each of the territories has no more than 2 salespeople assigned to it. So I guess we can say there's a max 2 per territory. And I guess in terms of spacing, this is pretty significant, isn't it? Because if we max out the territories as much as we can, so say we put 2 people into F and we put 2 people into G, then there's still 1 person left over who's going to have to go into H, which means one thing that we can kind of resolve right away is that every single territory has to have a person there. And you'll notice that previously we weren't actually ever told that every territory has to have somebody there. But this rule, this does help us establish that there has to be somebody in every single territory. Moreover, it really kind of has to be a 2-2-1 split, doesn't it? Because there's really no other way to distribute 5 people across these 3 groups, right? We can't have 1 and 1 because that would leave 3 people to go into the remaining one. So really, the only way that this could work is essentially if the numbers distribution is 2-2-1. There's going to be 2 people in one of these groups, 2 people in another one of these groups, and the last group will have just 1 person there. Next, we are told that M does not share a territory with P, so I guess we can say that M and P cannot be together. Next, L shares a territory with M, or else is assigned alone. So essentially, we can say that either we're going to have an LM block, or it's just going to be L. And lastly, Pat goes to H with someone else. So essentially, P plus 1 has to be in H, and we can reserve that over there. For the record, that does also mean that H is going to be a 2-person territory for sure. So your single person territory is going to have to be one of F or G. In fact, wait, we can take a few more steps here, can't we? Because we know that P and M, these guys don't play nice. So we know that M certainly could never go into H. And really neither can L, right? Because L is supposed to either be with M or alternatively alone. And that couldn't really happen if P is already in H. So we know that L also couldn't go here. I suppose that does kind of raise the question of, if L can't go there, M can't go there, so who could really? And it really just is N and O. They're the only people who remain. So that's pretty good. We can say that P is going to have to be here with one of N or O. And then from there, I guess what we could do, L is kind of significant, right? Because depending on what you do with the L, either it's alone or it's with M, we could exhaust this based on L. And the thing is, there's only 2 places where L can go, so it wouldn't be really that much of an ask. So what we can do is we can just try both possibilities for L. And remember, in terms of exhaustion, you don't need a good reason to exhaust a game. You just need something to latch onto, something to kind of work with. So we can say either the L is going to go into F, or the L is going to go into G. Now, in each of these scenarios, L is either going to be there alone, or it's going to be there with, so here's the thing. No matter what, so for example, let's take a look at the first scenario. Let's call this template A. In this top template, L is either going to be here by themselves, or they will be here with M. But either way you go, you'll notice that the other person who is left over, the other of N or O, will end up having to go into this group over here. Because if this is L and M, then the only person left to go into G is the other of N or O. But if this is L alone, then everybody else, including M and the other of N or O, is going to go into G. And the same thing happens in template B as well. Essentially, what will have to happen is we'll have to have one of N or O go into that other group no matter what. And then M is either going to buddy up with the L or with the other of N or O, and the same thing in the bottom one, right? M can go here or M can go there. So that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the questions. So the first question is, as usual, our exclusion question, and the way that we approach this is by the rule. So the first rule was that every territory has to have no more than 2 people there. Let's see if anything violates that, but they all look pretty good on that. Next, we are told that M cannot be with P, so going through the answers, answer choice A looks fine, B violates that, so we can get rid of that. Answer choice C looks okay, D looks fine, and E looks fine. Next, L can only be alone or with M. So A looks fine, C has L with N. That doesn't work, we can get rid of it. And D has L alone, E has L with M, so we're good. Lastly, P plus 1 person has to be in H. So answer choice A, that looks good, P and O. Answer choice D has L there, that doesn't work. And E has just P, which also doesn't work. So the best answer here is answer choice A. And I suppose as usual, let's just kind of plug that into the board. We've got L over here, we've got M and N under G, and we've got P and O under H. And that was answer choice A. Next, question number 2. Looks like this is our first local question here, which says, if N is assigned to territory F. Well, let's take a look. If we have N in territory F, it's worth noting that that would basically force you into the second template, right? Because in the top template, N can't go here with L, L has to go with M or alone. So if N is in territory F, we're in the second template, and that would effectively mean that O would have to go into H, and then otherwise N can still kind of shuffle around. Now we could set up another scenario, but we can probably handle this mentally. All we need to know is that N is going to go here, and then O would end up over there. The question asks, which of the following could be true? A, L goes to F, and no, not at the moment. Answer choice B, M goes to F. And maybe M can still kind of shuffle around, couldn't it? It could move back and forth, so B looks okay. Just in case, though, let's take a quick look at the other ones. O goes to F, and no, we said O has to go into H, so that's out. M goes to H, and no, that can never really happen. And E, O goes to G, and no, we said O has to go over here at the moment. So the best answer here is answer choice B for question number 2. Next, question number 3. If O is assigned to a territory to which nobody else is assigned, so if O is alone. Now it's worth noting, O could be alone seemingly in either one of these templates, right? In template A, O would go over here, and in template B, O would go over there. I suppose we do know, though, in each template, N would end up over here with P, and then L and M would end up being together wherever it is that they go. So again, we have a rough mental image of what's going to happen here, so just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see what we can do with the question. Which of the following could be true? L goes to H, and no, that can never happen. Answer choice B, N goes to F, and no, because we said that if O is alone, then N has to go over here with P, so that could not occur. O goes to F, and maybe, right, because O could have been alone over here. That's arguably viable. We can hold on to answer choice C. Just in case, let's take a look at D and E. D says M goes with N, and no, we said L and M are going to end up having to be together in this scenario. In fact, N would have been with P, so either way, that could not happen. Lastly, N goes with L, and no, L and N can never be together. So the best answer here is answer choice C to question number 3. Next, question number 4 is global. We'll skip it, come back to it in a moment. Let's take a look at number 5. If only one person goes to territory G. Well, if only one person goes to G, I suppose that actually would be consistent with both scenarios, wouldn't it? Because L could go alone over here, and then M would end up over here with whoever that is. Or in the top template, this could be N or O alone, and then L and M would be together over there. Although it's worth noting right there, no matter what we did, either way you go, if this is alone, then M gets pushed in into F over here with whoever. The question asks, which of the following must be true? That actually might be worth just looking for. And yeah, there it is. Answer choice C. Marsha does have to go to territory F. Best answer choice is C for question number 5. Next, question number 4. What cannot be true? So what must be false? A. L goes to F. And no, I mean, we know that L definitely could have gone to F. That doesn't have to be false. A is out. B, L goes to G, same deal. L could have gone to G in the second template, so that doesn't have to be false. Next, O goes to F, and that could have happened in the second template. O easily could have gone there, so that's out. D, L is assigned to a territory with nobody else, and that actually could happen in either one. L could have been alone in either scenario. Lastly, M is assigned to a territory with nobody else, and that can't happen. You'll notice that essentially we have somebody kind of reserved in every single position, no matter what. So there's never an opportunity for M to go alone. The best answer for question number 4 is E.